This video is proudly sponsored by Gamersgate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit Gamersgate.com.
Welcome to Elder Geeks Elder Speak. Today is Wednesday, August 29th, 2012. My name is Randy Asenchak, editor of ElderGeek.com. If you're unfamiliar with what Elder Speak is sort of like a video digest where I kind of gather up some of the more interesting news articles about gaming in the world of geek, I suppose, and then I kind of gather them all here. And in the background, just to kind of keep it from being 100% boring and just listening to my voice all the time, I kind of show footage of whatever games I happen to be playing at the time. Unfortunately, you're going to be seeing some more gameplay footage from Sleeping Dogs, and that's not because I'm playing Sleeping Dogs pretty regularly. I'm actually finished playing Sleeping Dogs, but the games I am playing, I'm actually not allowed to show just yet, and which is unfortunate because I'm having a blast with said games. And by the way, that is not me trying to rub it into anybody else's faces or anything like that. I'm just saying I really don't have anything else installed on my machine right now, so Sleeping Dogs it is. And Sleeping Dogs is a blast game to play. If you haven't picked it up yet, I totally recommend it, especially if you're a GTA fan or a Saints Row kind of fan, or just a general fan of open-worldy games, or if you're just a fan of Kung Fu, it's totally worth it as well. But sorry about not having a show yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit, I'll just say it was a little bit of a rough day. My son, I record these in my office at home. My son was not cooperating quite with my Elder Speak schedule, and there was just no way I was going to be able to get it up in time or get it up without some screaming in the background. Not complaining about my son. He's just a little boy, and so, these things happen. Dads out there, I'm sure, can identify with what I'm going through here. But anyway, there was a few topics that I kind of wanted to cover today. Some are very mainstream news items. Some are off the beaten path. So, I don't know. I'll try. Hopefully, this will be a little bit of a more interesting show for you. One of the big things that I'm actually personally excited about is MAGFest XI. I'm a long-time attendee of MAGFest, and Elder Geek for the past couple of years has had booths at MAGFest. So, if you happen to be in the D.C., Virginia/Maryland area, stop by MAGFest, which is, this year it's January 3rd through 6th at the National Harbor, down in the National Harbor in Maryland at the Gaylord National Hotel. It is without a doubt, and I say this with all sincerity and without fear of actually using a superlative, because I absolutely hate using superlatives, but MAGFest is without a doubt my favorite and I think the best gaming show of the entire year. You're not going to be seeing any new games being released here. You're not going to be seeing any developers talking about the games that they're working on or anything like that. It's just a large open convention where just a ton of people come together and just play games nonstop for 3 days straight. And they have a giant arcade, the likes of which you have not seen since the mid-90s. Pretty much 24/7. There are LAN rooms everywhere going on. There's game rooms going on everywhere. But the reason why it's MAGFest, it's the music and gaming festival. There's always live music going on. Last year, I actually got to see Nobuo Uematsu play there, and it was, for the longest time, I've been the type of person that goes to a ton of concerts. And that was, without a doubt, the best live performance I think I've ever seen, because it was small, it was intimate, it was something that really sang to me personally, on a personal level. So that was just fantastic, and I think anybody else who went to go actually see that show could probably say the same thing. But MAGFest this year, if you're gonna, like I said, MAGFest 11, check it out. It's actually gonna be January 3rd through 6th, 2013, at the Gaylord National Hotel and Convention Center, National Harbor, Maryland, which is in the DC area. Be sure to check it out. As a personal note, if you can swing it, try to fly into Reagan National Airport. DC has 3 airports that kind of service it. It's got Reagan, it's got Dulles, and it also has BWI. BWI and Dulles are completely on the other end of the city, and Reagan is a ton closer. And when I say the other side of the city, we're talking it might take you an hour and a half or more to drive around the Beltway to actually get to the convention center, depending on how bad the traffic is or when your plane actually arrives. It might cost you a little bit extra. It might cost you, $100 or more extra in the plane ticket. But from my point of view, after being a resident of the DC area for a very long time, you are better off landing at Washington National Airport. MAGFest this year is going to have its own video game film festival, and the reason why I really am excited about this is because there needs to be a video game film festival, but it's actually being fronted by a very good friend of mine, Chad Williams, who actually runs the Jumpmen podcast, which we have on eldergeek.com, but he also hosts it on another website as well. But Chad Williams is actually putting together, or he is curating the Games on Film festival at MAGFest. Now, I believe you need to actually be an attendant of MAGFest to see the Games on Film festival, but still, this is just a fantastic idea, and I can't wait to see it come to fruition. The games that are going to be displaying this year is going to be beyond, or the films, I should say, that will be displaying at the Games on Film festival this year is going to be Beyond the Game, Ecstasy of Order, The FP, Get Lamp, Going Cardboard, Indie Game the Movie, Inside the Dragon's Lair, Journey Quest 2, Machinima Expo, Mario Warfare, More Than a Game, Standard Action Season 2,
and Video Game Theater.
Definitely something really new and interesting that is only going to be existing at MAGFest. And again, totally recommend everybody check out MAGFest. It is without a doubt my favorite time of the year. And what's funny is I've been going for so long and I've been loving it so much that whenever the holiday season kind of rolls around, I don't get really excited about the holidays anymore. I kind of get excited about MAGFest, which sounds kind of really silly, but it's true. Those are the two big news items. The first two big news items are MAGFest and, of course, the MAGFest Games on Film Festival. Definitely check those out. Magfest.org is where you want to go to find out more information about that. In other news, Bethesda has released another trailer today, or has released their trailer today for their next DLC for Skyrim, and it's called Hearthfire. A little while before this actually came out, there was a ton of people speculating about what Hearthfire was about. There were people that were digging up obscure references, thinking that it was going to be about the Draugrs and the zombies within the Elder Scrolls series. But Hearthfire is about building a home, and basically that's the expansion. You can buy a plot of land, you can build a home on the plot of land based how you want to see it. You can put whatever you want into the land, and voila. I'm very excited about Skyrim. Skyrim is a favorite of mine. I will always fall back on Skyrim. I don't think it's the greatest game of all time, but it is definitely high up there. I really love the fact that more than it's like a medieval simulator, and that's why I love it. But Hearthfire is probably going to be a very worthwhile expansion to get if you were to play it on Xbox 360. For PC, on the other hand, that's going to be one of those where you're going to have to weigh it on a gamer-by-gamer basis as to whether or not you think it's going to be worth I think it's going to be like $5 or something like that. It's 400 Microsoft points. I don't know what the Microsoft point-to-dollar ratio is. I don't buy many Microsoft points. But it's only going to be 400 Microsoft points, which is a steal for Microsoft players, for Xbox 360 players. But eventually, if that does come to PC players are going to have to, weigh their options as to whether or not they want to get this versus finding mods that already do something like this. There are mods out there that you can actually build a home to how you like it. There are some other pretty interesting little tidbits about this add-on, though. It's not just building a home. So, I mean, they're kind of adding in almost like a Sims-like element where you can raise families and everything here. So I'm hopefully going to be able to get my hands on a copy of it, and then I'll hopefully do a video review for it as well. But interesting, to say the least. So Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Hearthfire trailer came out today or yesterday, depending on when you actually get to see this. Hitman fans out there are excited to hear that David Bateson is actually back as the voice of Agent 47. And that's it. That's the end of the news list. There's a ton of people that were saying that Hitman wouldn't be the same without his voice. And I don't know, I'm kind of somewhere in between. It's kind of like how Sam Fisher isn't going to be having Michael Ironside anymore as the voice. I'm sad to see it go, but still, stealth games are just kind of a soft spot for me, and I don't. Part of me doesn't really care who does the voices as long as the gameplay is awesome. So if you're a fan of his, then you should be excited to hear that he's going to be back in the next Hitman game for Hitman Absolution. Final bit of news today, and this one is pretty interesting. It came out actually 4 days ago that this was released, but I found out about it through the BBC. It turns out that World of Warcraft is no longer available to players in Iran. And the reason is because of U.S. sanctions blocking, basically just blocking the game, and Blizzard has to adhere to it. I will throw up the link for anybody to actually go check it out. But not only can people not play it in Iran, but people who have paid for it can't get refunds either. They're basically just cut off. Blizzard made a semi-formal announcement through their forums 4 days ago, and I will throw up a link directly to that so you guys can go and check that out directly. And I think that really does it about for today. I know this is a little bit shorter than I was expecting it to be. I guess I was mentally planning on ranting my love for MAGFest, but oh well, at least it wasn't wasting your time. I do want to actually kind of point everybody's attention to an article that we posted not too long ago on the site. It was written by Elliot Hagen, who is a former writer and video editor for ElderGeek.com, and basically a film expert. I can safely call him that now. I don't want to call out what else he has really worked on. That's for him to release for himself. But he wrote a fantastic article the other day called "Video Game Movies: Why They Don't Work," and it goes beyond the whole video game movies suck because Hollywood doesn't understand the storyline, or because Hollywood isn't what it used to be, or because they don't stay truthful to the storyline. He goes beyond that and actually dissects video games and movies and why the two are kind of conflicting mediums. And it's a very fascinating read, and I definitely invite you to go and check that out. I'll throw a link up for that in the description as well. And before I go, just as a kind of heads up, everybody who actually wants to kind of get updates from me, I welcome you to follow me on Twitter. I'm not a Twitter spammer by any stretch of the imagination. But for incidences like yesterday where I wasn't able to actually put up an Elder Speak, I'm almost always going to be able to at least throw out a Twitter message saying like, hey, can't do an Elder Speak today. Here's why. And so, I don't know, it helps to keep you in the loop a little bit more. So anyway, that's it. That does it for me today. Thanks everybody for your patience. Again, I apologize that I wasn't able to do a show yesterday. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to send them to info@elder-geek.com. If you have any topics for this show, you can also send them over there as well. Be sure to follow eldergeek.com here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch TV, where Shen and the gang actually do a fair amount of live streaming as well. And if you want to, like I said, you can always follow me personally on Twitter @RandyYasenchuk. But I actually do hit up our Facebook page as well. So even if you follow our Facebook page pretty well, I actually will throw up notices as well if I'm gonna miss a show or kind of whatever I'm working on. But thanks again, everybody. Hopefully I will talk to you all tomorrow.